and ask your question.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, it seems like a lot of the conversation tonight revolves around we're not in a position to have a fair fight. And it seems like every time we get in the position, it's going to be a roll of the dice on who's in office. Is there a break point where we start having a conversation about, is there time to get out of the system we're in and go to a different system as far as like government versus non-government? It just seems like we get to 29, it's all going to hinge on a roll of the dice on who's in office. And then if we're, again, in a situation where we have to protect the articles, all this stuff, we're back in another, we're talking a 20-year-old contract probably at that point. What is the break point? What is the break point where we say we have to be able to fight fair? And if we can't fight fair, what are we doing?
Well, I would say that we always push for, like you said, the fighting fair point, and we have 3 years to do that. Right now is continuing to say, all right, how, if we're putting ourselves in a position to be part of that solution, is there that opportunity to put our to take away the very thing that's keeping us from fair and completely bargaining? That is the direction that we should be facing. Bob, I think there's two choices here. Is one, where we all agree, I no desire to push us to a private level, a concept I think it introduces a whole other level. I know there's some that feel that way, and I know you've even spoke about that. Is, do we believe that would ultimately produce the very thing that we want? I think possibly in pay, quite often, or in many of the areas that exist of having some level of influence, control, or being at the whim of now RIFs, furloughs, the economy even more, and not getting pay at all. And like many of the other ANSPs that are facing worldwide, where they've removed all their trainees during COVID. And listen, there's never going to be a cherry pick of all the systems and it makes one perfect one. It's like you said, what are the consequences to it? I think when it comes to negotiations, it was all right, this was the second world of where we expected the executive orders with Trump. If this becomes the Republican continued dominance or position where it is not labor friendly in the realm of federal employees and unions, where we've seen 1 million no longer be able to be represented and 600,000 without a contract, that will be a decision point for us going into the next administration. If we haven't made the gains that we want to make, is okay, can we start trading out many of those things we would lose of those 77 contract articles to trade those for an increase in pay? Or are we willing to, quote unquote, let it all go, not have those, and then just go off of pay alone and see what that results in going into a new one? I don't think it's a forever stay in this state. I think it's a forever evaluate the world we're in and determine where is that breaking point. And I think at some point it's going to have to get called to question in the next election of the President of the United States saying, all right, we've now hit all the way. It didn't work over the course of this entire administration to put ourselves in a position to gain the gains that we wanted. What do we trade out? Basic watch schedules, annual leave, sick leave, 2 hours time or position. What would be the gains for it? What would that look like from there? Or let's go to a full term negotiation and realize the world that we're walking into. Just don't think we were there on this one because we wanted to see, can we put ourselves in a position to still gain where many thought that this administration was going to be labor friendly. We're still in the fight right now, and we're still in the ability to have a say and influence on many of the issues that are important to us. So there's the decision points. That's the reality of it, and ultimately what it looks like, but not pursuing any level of privatization. I don't see where we get to when we say that system's done. But Bob, everything could break down. I think the rapture was supposed to happen today, and so many other things of the realities that we face are ever evolving. And man, I don't know what politics is going to turn into. So that may happen one way or the other as well.